Hey, welcome to Train Tuesday. I hope you are all enjoying your Tuesday, and welcome to May. It seems hard to believe that May's here already, but hopefully you caught our video on Friday of all the new announcements. And today we're going to talk about the Genesis ES44 ACs and DCs. Now, I do want to let you guys know this is a pre-recorded broadcast, so I won't be taking any Q&A this evening. But we are going to be talking about the Athearn Genesis units instead. So let's go ahead and start talking about some modern six-axle locomotives. So the first one out of the gate is we are offering the CSX in their, what it was at the time, their new paint scheme. About 2005, CSX updated their paint scheme to what the rail fans call YN3. Some guys call it the Dark Future paint scheme. I always thought it looked a lot like the old C&O paint scheme. Really classy looking paint scheme. We're going to be offering this one for you guys that are modeling 2005 on up. Now, another interesting one that we're going to be releasing for pre-order is this primer edition. Now, this is 2004 and up. And if you remember back then, there was somewhat of a power shortage going on. So these were delivered from the factory, just primered up. They had a quick numbers put on them, some striping, and that is it. They were pressed into service as you see here. This is 2004 on up. So here we have another example of the paint scheme that was adopted after 2005. This is good for 2005 on up. And then we've also got one for you guys that are modeling 2015 and further. Here's the Boxcar paint scheme. This is one that's been very popular. In fact, through our product suggestion email, we got a lot of comments as to bringing this locomotive in this paint scheme out. So again, these are Genesis models. So they're going to have all the unit specific details for it. And we didn't stop with CSX. We're also got Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern, again, rather simple but very classy paint scheme. Norfolk Southern has a fleet of these locomotives pressed into service. We're offering them in a couple of different road numbers, as you can see here. These are applicable for modelers that are modeling 2004 on up. Now, if you want to model 2006 and do something similar to what CSX has, we are offering the primer version, as seen here. Same thing. Now you can tell Norfolk Southern specs based on how the headlight arrangement is, things of that nature, but it's completely in primer. So if you're modeling that interesting era, this might be one you want to add to your fleet. Now we had to do BNSF again, and this is an interesting model because think about this for a second. These are based on an order that BNSF did back in 2005. Now, what happened in 2005? If you're a BNSF fan, you probably already know. The first order of these ES44s came in their Heritage 2 paint scheme, which was more of the Brunswick green and orange with the yellow pinstriping. Later on, they adopted what some rail fans call the swoosh paint scheme or the premium heritage scheme, depending on who you are or how you model the BNSF. And so we're offering a couple of versions of this in this release. And this is good for, later 2005 on up to modern day. This is still the same paint scheme that BNSF applies on their wide cab locomotives. Now, going back to that earlier paint scheme, here is the Heritage 2. This was the first set of orders of the ES44s. And here's the Heritage 2. And you can see subtle differences. You've got the darker green, not quite a Brunswick green, but a real dark green with the orange and the bright bright yellow pinstriping. Obviously the older sans serif font. And if we look carefully here on the back, the old circle cross logo that was common up until about 2005. So these are being offered in 2 different road numbers. And these are good for 2005 on up. Since these were new in 2005, you can probably still see them in this paint. They're not going to be in a rush to repaint these because they were basically delivered new in this paint scheme, even though that paint scheme was being phased out. So you got a couple of options there with the BNSF. Certainly got some options in CSX, Norfolk Southern, as well as the all-new Canadian Pacific version, which is going to have all-new tooling. So there you have it. You have until the end of the month. It's going to be Friday, May 25th, to pre-order these locomotives. Stay tuned for an Athearn Extra. We'll probably talk a little bit more about the ES44s and what they are, what they do, what they mean. We'll go a little bit in depth on the Athearn Extra. This is, with Train Tuesday, we just want to show you what's available and put it in front of you. Because again, you only have until, we saw how fast April went. You only have until Friday, May 27th to complete your pre-orders on any of these locomotives. And I highly suggest that you go ahead and pre-order the CP locomotives first. They're going to sell out quick. I want to thank everybody here for joining us here tonight. Until next time, everybody, be happy, be healthy, be safe, do some good modeling, and above all,